What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Live with Lauren and Bryan.
Hello, guys.
We appreciate you for being here. Got
yes,
the email.
Regan.
Okay, good.
Thank you. So, yeah, I guess we'll just hop into that really fast. Yes. Okay, so I just want to address the list because I know that this is so exciting, right? Like, we're doing this because we love doing this. And we honestly did not know that we were going to get so much like love and support and donations and all of that from you guys. And with the donations on here, people are also donating to Bryan on PayPal and Venmo. And so we're like communicating with that to have everybody in order of how they donated and whatnot so that nobody's getting skipped. Nobody will absolutely be not receiving, their chart, their reading. It will all be in alignment. And also
we check daily.
Divine timing really is that's why I don't want to quote anybody on a day or a time because, right? So many things can change. I mean, we're not going really on vacation. We're going to be out of town this week, but it's because we're going to tie up loose ends in Oregon for when my father passed away in November. So it's not really a vacation. It's more like tying up loose ends with that. Or else we would be here and, finishing the charts and what's not. But I'm going to read who we have so that there's no confusion moving forward. Like I said, Regan, I already emailed you, so we're in alignment with that. And sorry about that was my fault 100%. But moving forward after tonight, who's on the list, and then we will be back the week of the 17th moving forward. It will be Amanda, Regan, and we're going to read Regan and her partner as a synastry as one. So it'll be Amanda, Regan, then Alana, Rebecca, Danielle, Michelle, Stacy, Vilo, Fairy. We're just gonna say Fairy because that was, I think, your thumb handle or whatever. Cody, Leslie, Lottie, this is for your friend Badar, Sienna, and then Casey. And then we don't, unless there's new donations tonight or whatnot, that is the list. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 people after tonight.
So basically, everybody that has donated, if you haven't gotten a reading yet, within the next 2 shows after this one, you will be read.
Yes.
So it's just, I know it takes patience, and I wish we could just do them all at one show, but we can't. And we're grateful that people, keep donating. So.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Sorry that, because there's been a little. It's exciting, like Lauren said in the beginning.
Well, no, it is. It is.
And you donated, and you paid for something.
Yes,
of course. You want to get it, so we understand. No. But.
I just don't want anybody thinking that they're not going to get it and that we forgot or anything like that. Because you absolutely are. It's just. Right. If you see that your name's not on the list, I guess you could get discouraged, but I've got the list locked down now. I mean, I have had it locked down. There was a confusion there for a second because people are donating on other sites, but we're in alignment with that now.
Yeah. We check every other day.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you get anything in on your accounts? And I look.
Yeah.
And we write them down right away.
Right. Because I thought only people were donating on here, and then it was oh no, PayPal. And so, So just, I mean, it's all love. We're so grateful. And we love to be doing this with you guys. So, Lana's talking about her internet again. I don't know,
think
girl.
it's your internet. For some reason, streaming here has not been working out good. We were supposed to get a new router and they never sent it.
So are we going to be able to do the show or not?
Yeah, we can do it, but it might buffer every now and then. Like, it's streaming good now, but for a second it dipped. I think our router just got old, so they were supposed to send us a new one. They didn't. And it is frustrating, I know. Trust me, I hate it.
I feel like I can
Drives me
already
crazy.
feel this eclipse energy, and it's not even eclipse yet. I'm just like, but hello, everybody. If it buffers, if it pauses out, I mean, that's just
unfortunately
the divine.
You can let us know, but
that's Pluto and
I
Aquarius.
I've tried everything. It should be working fine. It has to be the equipment, like the router. So, I'm sorry.
I mean, I guess we could have unplugged it and did all that before we started this.
Too late now.
Yeah, so I don't even know what to say to that.
And even when we do, it still did it anyway. So I don't think that was fixing anything. But
we can blame it on Cox. We can blame it on Pluto and Aquarius. I don't know.
It's fine.
The thing went away now, so it's
as long as
just...
this is green.
Oh, okay.
Everything's fine. When it turns red, that's when they're going to be like, hey, it's buffering.
This is why I'm South Node Aquarius, and I don't actually, I don't... this is why technology is a curse and a blessing, so...
Yeah.
Regardless of that, we love you guys. Thank you so much for being patient. And that was, maybe I can even... maybe we can even put... who is the rest of the 13 people that, are going to be read. And it'll be on the week that we get back on the 7th, starting April 17th. It'll be that week because we do 2 shows. So, yeah. Yeah. But we love you guys. And thank you so much. And good vibes and energy and happy Easter to everybody.
Happy Easter. I keep forgetting it's Easter. No offense to anybody. This is just one of those holidays for me that I just... Oh, yeah. It's Easter.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be really honest with you guys. It is probably the weirdest societal holiday, in my opinion,
that's
ever.
not... I feel like that's just, not in alignment with,
I mean, I'm just going to be honest.
Spirituality and all that.
I can understand the religious aspect to it. I get it. I'm cool with that, but that we celebrate it by hiding eggs and bringing out a giant bunny just blows my mind. Just how did we get here?
Babe.
Anyways. It's like,
we have got to switch
Jesus
up.
is coming back, but he said hide the eggs, and he said summon the bunny. And he'll only come back if we hide the eggs and summon the bunny, okay? And then give the kids a basket of goodies.
It has to do with Yeshua, so I don't want to sit here and disrespect any type of
No, I'm not
tradition.
trying to disrespect it. It's just the way society celebrates it is more or less.
But we
what
celebrate a lot of why do we celebrate Valentine's Day?
It's because of Saint Valentine's death.
Well,
I know.
I mean, we could go on all day.
Anyways. See? That's ungodly. Hey,
look at 11, 22, 11, and 11, 11. We are in alignment. We are switching up this energy. And guys.
All right, let's go and let's do this.
Yeah, guys.
We're going to start with frequency of love.
Yes, we don't have... Well, yeah, if that's your name, actually, I love that. Frequency of love.
That's just what I got.
No, I know. Well, because I was using it by the handles. Mm-hmm. So if you are in the chat...
Hopefully your information's right. August 28th, 1966, 5:46
Ella,
a.m.
she's right there.
Oh, hi, Ella.
Ella. Okay, perfect. Does your information look correct? August 28th, 1966, 5:46 a.m., Buffalo Center, Iowa. Does it look in alignment?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you. All right.
So
you start, babe.
We got a lot of first house energy and a Leo ascendant. So Sun Virgo, Pluto Virgo, Uranus Virgo. You are part of that part of the 60s generation that did get the Pluto-Uranus conjunction. So
Yeah.
these are, you know, souls that are breaking free. They're kind of like trying to do something real different. They're not they were a little different. Like if you look at the group of like the 60s and like that decade, these people in like the mid to late 60s with Pluto-Uranus, they're just doing things a little bit differently. Their soul is trying to liberate. It's trying to, that's like how they purify in Virgo too. Is coming to this sense of like doing things unique in their own way. And, you know, they can get it definitely like looked at odd. I mean, what are you up to? You know, luckily you went to high school with most of, you know, the people in that. So you guys, that's crazy. Like those, like the 70s, like that was like a good time for school. Whenever I watch like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, I'm like, I should have been at that time in life. So I don't know, just an interesting, you know, Pluto-Uranus is like deep desires around.
In Virgo, though, it's so interesting.
Kind of mixing things up and doing things different. And Virgo is that way too, in a sense that it's like always changing reality. It's constantly trying to find perfection in an imperfect world. And the only way to even identify that within the soul in the first house is to really mix things up. Like you got to mix it up. The more mixed up it is, the more you find, you know, the abstract sort of insight to what could be perfected form in your eyes.
Oh my gosh, we have our vertexes conjunct frequency of Ella. Yeah, mine's 17.
It could be boring as long as you enjoy it.
17 Capricorn.
As long as it's unique to you. Especially because having Pluto in the first with your sun in the first also, I think this is that evolutionary stage in your soul's journey that's really learning the I am of everything. Like it has to put a strong focus on self. You kind of have to, especially with a Leo rising, you're also learning again to like really pay attention to yourself, really give yourself attention, show up for yourself, express yourself. And that's kind of the interesting part about having a Leo rising and a Virgo sun is the Virgo sun can at sometimes, you know, get lost in the perfection of things and start to maybe doubt if it can fully express because it wants things to be a certain way. So it can be a little too hard on itself to fully express, but it definitely can. It just takes, you know, I think going through a lot of life and experiencing things to when you start to realize like, yeah, I can fully be myself, show myself, you know, look good, put my hair up. You know, Leo risings tend to have like big hair. You know, I don't know if you have big hair or not, but they you know, have that lion's mane. So it's like, I'm going to show off. I'm going to puff my hair up. I'm going to, you know, get back into that thing. So.
But I want to say, would Pluto and Uranus in the first, like, would that be somebody switching up their look all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So people with Pluto in the first
look?
tend to have a lot of identity crises throughout their life.
But I'm talking about like hair, makeup, like all of that.
Yeah, they'll have a bunch of different looks. They'll have they'll always be shifting their appearance to different ways of finding themselves. They go through stages.
I love that.
It's good. You're finding out who you are. You go through a lot of different looks, a lot of different maybe IDs. Maybe if you pulled out all your driver's license cards, you'd be like, you know, going through time like, oh my God, yeah, like I went through some different versions of myself to find this Virgo.
Like if you're a spy or something.
Right.
You know? Yeah. An undercover, I don't know.
Big hair, yeah. Yeah, big hair is good.
And I really want to ask if in the fourth house, because I got Neptune in the, well, I have Uranus and Neptune in the fourth, and you've got South Node Neptune in the fourth. Like, there's got to be some interesting home, well, South Node in the fourth, that's karmic, right?
Yeah, I mean, the South Node always, you know, brings up the past, whether it's karmic or evolutionary intention, but it's, you know, things that you have done a lot of. The South Node's a deep part of who you are, how you feel, how you can express yourself, or, you know, lots of different ways like that. Having a South Node in Scorpio is, you've had some very intense past lives, some very intense home lives, maybe intense family situations in the past.
Yeah.
Everything's been kind of like forcing you out of comfort. So you've lived so many lives that are forcing you out of a comfort zone and out of, you know, maybe the bubble that keeps you safe, where you also want to feel safe. You can almost feel like that's home, is in the not safe situations, or in merging, or, you know, really needing somebody else to supply or to be the foundation of the family because of whatever could have happened in the past at any given time. North Node in Taurus is like the opposite of that. You're here to, really create safety, security, self-reliance. And it's also in good aspects to your Pluto in the first and your Uranus. It makes an exact trine and sextile to your Uranus. So in essence, like when you're figure out who you are in the most, authentic, unique way, and you dedicate yourself in the 10th house up there by the midheaven, and you take responsibility for who you are and different ways you want to show up in society and different, just areas of being responsible or taking on, initiative or task that you're into. Like they can have that, deep desire nature that I think is embedded within you, especially being a first house Pluto. Like desires play a big role. But how can you apply those desires? How can you, go out and do something with them? So every time you like go out and create money on your own or, do something for yourself or earn something for yourself, that's part of your evolution in this life. And it kind of gets you out of maybe just, especially having Neptune South Node, where it can feel really good to just chill at home. It can feel really, really good and just, I'm in my little bubble, my little dream space. I'm so safe. Nothing will get me.
Yeah.
But that's not really what you're here for. You're kind of, it's almost like it can get so closed off. So you kind of have to like take risk and go out, but not in like an intense way necessarily, but it's putting your passion towards what kind of physical aspects of life you can identify yourself with and find value in, and what's making things cleaner, better, more fun even, at the same token. But I would say with Uranus being in trine too, it's like you always kind of have to get, again, forced out of your comfort zone in some weird way in life. And I think when you show up for whatever that might be and, get the grit to kind of make it happen, you're here to accomplish something big, or maybe you already have accomplished something big in your life, whatever that may be to you. It's just learning not just to stay at home necessarily in some, whether it's just a passionate family connection where you all just kind of run the joint from home and make it happen, but like
She says I'm a traveler, adventurer, and a healer.
Very nice.
Yes. Well, of course.
Yeah.
Virgo.
I think
yeah,
you're
is
meant
a
to find
healer.
comfort in whatever role you choose to play that's uniquely identified with yourself in society.
Yeah.
You got a lot of 12th house too, with Mercury.
I was just gonna
Venus,
say that. Yes.
Mars, even
Venus,
Jupiter.
12th house. You've got some past life lovers.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
I think
And her Jupiter's exalted in Cancer.
it is exalted in Cancer. I think having a Neptune South Node with all that 12th house in your chart, like whatever you were doing in the past, whether it was your desires, whether it was relationships, whether it was just things that you thought about in your own mind or what you knew, they were really kept like
And she's
close.
got Atlantis in the 12th too.
They were like kept close. They were locked up tight. Locked up real tight, and maybe didn't want to get them out. Even Saturn in the 8th house. So like there could be such a tight lock
With Chiron.
because that was so safe, or what you felt comfortable in before, that you got to like let that stuff out. So you're kind of here to show off all the mysticism, show off all the magic and the healing that you do have, and I think find identification around that and own it. I am. That's very first house sun. Like every time it's like I am first house Pluto.
She had to have had like a major activation. Her pre-solar eclipse on, like close to Algol, and when the North Node literally, so last January, February, you must have had some type of activation on that axis of Taurus.
Yeah,
and
I
your
think
North
just
Node Taurus, like,
even these eclipses that happened recently.
Yeah.
And a lot of 9th house, 10th house action. So maybe really, understanding that you got to come out, more, and understand that you are a traveler, a healer, and kind of like owning that sense of, your place in society, and that how do you dedicate more to those things, the things that you really find value in, and the things that make you feel like you're taking care of yourself in a way that feels really fun or exciting, or things that you want to manage.
And even back in 2018 to 2020, you definitely had some type of activation with Saturn and Pluto on your vertex in the 5th. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Was there like some type of creative experience or soulmate or something that, because when Saturn and Pluto are activating the vertex, that is intense. Yeah, and it's in the fifth house. So
Yeah, usually
romance.
the vertex always seems to bring in a person. It's
Well,
always like
yeah.
something, or it's usually someone.
And it's very faded.
Um,
Karmic, but faded. Like it happens out of nowhere.
Especially in the fifth, which could be like romance or somebody that has the same goals as you, meeting
Oh
somebody
yeah, and
and
really
kind of
woke
getting
up. Yeah.
inspired. Yeah, or even your
Yeah.
creative self-actualization, like really waking up and, Aries is like the evolved first, or I'm sorry, the fifth house is like the evolved first house. So where the first house is I am, like the fifth house is like, damn right I am, and
Yeah.
here it is. It like really shows out and shows up and expresses everything that it's learned, about its appearance, about its mind, its emotions, and then here it is, all of it. Let's go. And usually that brings a lot of happiness when we do fully express ourselves. And that could have been a deep transformation with Pluto too.
Well, and then the
Also,
South Node was in the anti-vertex in the 11th. So when it was in Cancer, so because that was all during that time of Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn, which
yeah, and we had
right?
eclipses on that axis in
Yes.
2019, and there's a lot. I think there were 4 eclipses in that axis
Yeah.
that year. So
It was intense energy, but yeah, definitely spiritual, like awakening and creativity. But there definitely had to do with people as well. And this Venus retrograde is going to be right. It's going to come by your Venus.
it's gonna be a Venus return 3. Get 3 Venus returns this summer,
Yeah.
right before your birthday, and then really like on your, it'll be a little bit after, but September 9th is when Venus will go direct. So it'll be like, probably by the time it gets back to 15 from 12, it'll be like, I don't know, September 15th, 16th, 17th, somewhere around there. You're going to have that third and final Venus return. So there are, layers to this next 18 months in your life around Venusian qualities, which it's
Yeah.
the dispositor of your North Node. You have Venus square your nodes. You also have Mercury square your nodes. So, excuse me, this Venus retrograde is going to be a big deal. It's going to be on Venus, on Mercury, square your nodes with the retrograde, and it's like trying to, I think, really ignite
It
things
will
that you
be
can,
fun.
things that you can dedicate to,
It will be.
and it's going to dissolve certain areas like that. I guess
Yeah.
maybe have been too idealized, fantasized about. Like it's kind of like getting really physical and real, and how you can kind of come out with that, and could bring up past situations.
Yeah, because 12th house for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, she does have an awesome chart. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Celestial Nurse.
Yeah.
Do you
So
want a
relationships
tum,
are very
Do you want a tongue?
Chinese food. No, I'm good.
Okay.
And then having Venus square your nodes like that too is important, because it's like relationships are so. Maybe what you really do, gosh, Venus and Leo in the 12th house, I mean, that could really be this just absolute fantasy about some kind of a love story or romanticized situations with people. Maybe because of like past life mergers that you have had in family dynamics. Like there's like a reliance almost on people, or, giving a lot to people too. And I think the North Node in Taurus is definitely like, and Venus disposing
Well, it's
that
been
North
teaching
Node.
her to go.
It's super important, like to build that relationship to yourself, and to really identify with your beauty and your fantasy and your story. Because if you put too much into just like everybody else, or trying to be this, intense caretaker or like nurse to everybody, because your chart definitely, I feel like, has that like, I want to take care of, I want to make
She's
sure
a nurse.
everybody's good. Yeah, I want to
Are
make
you
sure
a
everybody's
travel
good.
nurse? Are you a travel nurse? Frequency of love? I mean, that would like make a lot of sense, but I mean, just you could just be, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. It's not
Yeah.
that you shouldn't. I feel like that's a part of you.
Yeah.
But make sure that you're taking care of yourself too, that you're taking care of yourself spiritually.
Oh, of course.
I think is important also, which I'm not saying you don't, but anytime you like can give yourself some, time to really tune in and give yourself the attention you need, these are things that are really helpful.
Her moon's on your Venus. Exactly.
It is 6
Boom.
Aquarius. Yeah, that moon in Aquarius is in the 6 too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're very you got a lot of like Virgo energy for sure. A lot of Leo, a lot of Virgo, but that moon in the 6 wants to stay busy also, and it might detach emotionally from things, which could help after, having a south node in Scorpio, which can be so emotionally attached to certain things. That moon in Aquarius can definitely, peel back a little bit and get out, and especially in the 6th, it wants to get more intellectual. And in Aquarius, it's like trying to, I think, really understand how it can take care of people better, how it can take care of itself better from a more, I don't know, not so much of an emotional approach, but call it a scientific approach of like what formulas seem to work better. Your moon is in a yod too. Yeah, it's a little, it's a little wide, and it's with Karma, the asteroid, and your sun. So it's interesting you have Karma and Cancer.
Well,
also,
I'm just
which is
looking
like
at the
the
Saturn
caretaker
Chiron
vibe.
in the 8th. That's
Oh yeah, Chiron,
past life
Saturn.
stuff too.
Yeah, I think that is, again, like there's a lot that whatever you were doing in the past, you were so behind the scenes about it. So anytime, again, that you're like stepping up and showing your gifts and your emotions and your healing capabilities, you're doing something very good. And it could be hard, there could have been times in life where it was really hard to open up to people, where it was really, maybe it's still hard to open up to people, because Saturn Chiron in the 8th house is like, that could be some very heavy trust issues.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's with God or the unseen or just people in general. Maybe it's overly controlling or emotional at the same time, and it needs to learn to let go a little bit. So it's like, let go, let people in, don't push people away. All these things are, gonna help you show your gifts off and help you be an alchemist, not only for yourself, but for others.
She is an alchemist.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's your transits. You're going to have this eclipse in your 9th house.
Me too.
Could be traveling more. Maybe
Yeah.
there's a lot more traveling to come.
Yeah.
Over these next 6 months here, and maybe it's beliefs that are getting, shifted around a little bit, different, bigger perspectives, or how you can do more. The 9th house definitely does want to amplify, whether it's knowledge or where it's going in the world, or its story, some kind of a belief. Everything can kind of get a lot bigger. So I think you want to look at things in a big way. Keep the fantasy alive. I think even with Venus retrograding in your 12th, like, it's not that you can't have these fantasies about where things can go. Just remember to do the things necessary to get them, and to do relationships too. That's
Yeah.
also your Pluto polarity point, which is got Saturn in opposition to your sun right now. Saturn next year is going to oppose your Pluto and your Uranus in your 7th. So I think that, there is this like almost like karmic need, but maybe not karmic, but there's just this need right now to like not sleep on people or relationships. Like, how can you do things with people? How can you incorporate people into your life? What contracts are really good with people? What contracts are not really good with people? Trying to find like the right alignment and the right balance. And also, the need for yourself to be yourself, or to feel free right now, especially with all that in the 9th, there can be like a need for freedom. Even, having an Aquarius moon.
Ooh, Eros is on her moon
There
right
can
now.
be this need for freedom at times. So, I think that this is like, okay, well, you can be free, but are you just gonna, be alone while you're free? Is that what it is, or are you gonna like really?
It's not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
I mean, and a moon in Aquarius too isn't like necessarily needing to be attached to.
No, it wants connection too. It doesn't just want to be detached all the time, but it does kind of need its space. So I think there's like a balance of life right now where it's like needing space, but getting back into, maybe learning more about people. Neptune's on your Saturn
Yeah.
also, which Saturn's your 6th house ruler. So there could definitely be some interesting things happening in your day-to-day life or in your reality. You're also coming up on your Saturn return. So that's another thing, is your second Saturn return's just starting with Saturn now in Pisces. So you're starting to see like, okay, this next chapter is getting started in my life. I can kind of feel that things are maybe dissolving away, that routines are changing, day-to-day life is changing. There's definitely big things on the horizon, but I think that they involve people too.
And eventually when Pluto does get to your moon, you will not be the same person after that either. That's going to be a whole like change on your emotions. Just, I mean, that's a huge activation. That is a once in a lifetime transit.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
that's, 4 years from now, pretty much.
Right.
Pluto on your moon. And, I mean, let's be honest, you haven't had Pluto on any of your personal planets ever in your life, because you were born with Pluto in front of your sun. So
Yeah, that'll be a major transformation.
it'd be a big one. You had Pluto squares, of course, when it was in Scorpio, when it conjuncted your south node, and this was in, the 80s.
Yeah. But no need to go back that far. Gosh.
So it's definitely, Pluto moon's going to be a trip for you, because you have so much in your 12th house, and the moon rules your 12th house. It's going to be quite the emotional shift of changes in your day-to-day life. And I think the ability to have faith and trust and surrender will be your greatest gift. So where I think you do actually have a great gift for stepping out of, maybe things that are too heavy at times, it's kind of good to do that. Like you'll want to have a good balance between letting some things go and just accepting change and having faith in the change.
And let's be honest, you've gone through so much change and growth and leveling up with your nodal return, with this whole North Node, South Node access. Like, literally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not like, obviously at this point, I'm sure that you can handle a lot. But yeah, I mean, Pluto moon, right, it's going to be intense, but I feel like, I don't know, I just look, you're welcome, Elizabeth. I just look at, like, I almost, like, would not mind having a Pluto. I feel like that's like a walk-in moment.
Pluto moon?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I think
that is, like, you're
not
going to be the same.
Your whole, like, deep inner understanding of yourself and what you do is turning up a notch in frequency. And
yeah,
I think you just have to be okay with that. I think you're, like, going to have to go through moments of maybe some type of surrender moment. It's going to be as easy as you make it for yourself. Like, if you overly, intensify or hold on, or, try to keep some sense of control when you have that transit, it's going to feel very, could bring up anxiety moments, could bring up a lot of stress in your life. Whatever's trying to change is trying to change so that
just
you
know
can
that you just
inwardly
gotta
feel
surrender to
more
it.
authentic and yourself.
Yeah.
And that whatever place that you thought was you were supposed to be in the world, or job, or what you do on a day-to-day basis, or your diet even,
I just
could go through the biggest change.
I just did a reading for somebody that had Pluto her moon was 28 Capricorn, and it was, life-changing, but in the best way for her. And it's in Capricorn. Like, at least this is, I mean, it is still Saturn ruled, but this is Aquarius. So it's going to be like, I don't know. I feel like Pluto conjuncting your moon in Aquarius is going to be like some serious, like, downloads of, and it's in the 6th house, right? The day to day. Like, you're probably going to, I don't know how you wouldn't go through another that's an ascension to me.
Yeah, when all's said and done.
Yeah, of course. It's
because
a long...
Pluto moon, Pluto's Scorpio.
Right.
The moon is Cancer. Yeah, they're both water signs, but the moon's at fall in Scorpio. Right. So, yeah, when Pluto conjuncts the moon, you're going to feel this deep, deep need and desire to control your reality and to really try and perfect things. And it's going to quincunx your sun first in Virgo. I mean, you're going to have your desires are going to be more potent than maybe
Yes.
ever before. And I feel like you have a lot. You have Lucifer on your ascendant.
Mm.
Sun, Pluto are pretty close. Pluto, Uranus in the first house. South Node, Scorpio. I mean, you want things to be a way. You got Moon in the sixth. There's a way that you like your life to be. So that's where Moon Pluto will be just. It can feel devastating. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's a life-changing transit that not everybody in this reality will even experience.
Right.
And
well, no, this is why I'm like, it's
so
not
that you
yikes.
find it's refortifying your
Yes.
foundation of your emotions. Just you have to surrender. It's going to be a surrender moment.
This is
especially
awareness
for
for
you,
you.
and even a more of a come to God moment than you probably
Yes.
already have. And it could
It's
be
an
beautiful,
initiation.
but there is a side of it that's like emotional devastation can happen to try and get you
course.
to let go.
Well, it's
and to make changes that I think emotionally, even intuitively, right, that would need to be made. And you might
Yeah.
not even be aware of these changes yet.
Right.
Like this is like 4 years away.
Yeah.
But this is like a life-changing transit that's coming up for you.
But we bring that up because wouldn't you rather be aware of this energy? Because people that aren't aware, this is what I was telling my client that had the Pluto moon. I was like, you can like look at it and be like, oh my God, I got through. Like you don't even realize how much power and how strong you are. Like after you've then gone through that transit. That's why I say you're not going to be the same person. So it's like, this is just like us doing this for everybody, especially these life-changing transits, is awareness for you. Like you have that awareness and that knowledge of what, we're not going to sit here and predict what it can be, but it's your moon in the sixth house. It's going to be a change of your whole emotional like front. Like if there's any type of habits that aren't healthy or whatever, that will be no more. Or
even people.
Yes. Right. If there's anybody that is not in alignment, and like that's what Pluto does. It destroys to bring the new. It's
Even
the Phoenix.
maybe family dynamics.
Yeah.
Like
this
it
is
runs
power
deep.
for you to harness.
It does.
Yeah.
And Pluto's going to start squaring, your nodes over the next,
You're in a
15
huge
years,
initiation.
10, 15 years. Yeah.
So it's like
Going to oppose your Mars. So you are in Mars in Pluto opposition right now, which again is like you're having these eclipses in your ninth and your third. So much of this is trying to like open you. Like,
yes.
It's trying to open you up to more. And I think the only way to like get to more is to like embrace a little bit of messiness in your life.
Yeah.
If you can embrace messiness and kind of like just see where it takes you, like let life be a Picasso and not some perfectly, detailed Botticelli painting.
You're right. Right.
Because it's just not going to be perfected.
Just
no matter how much you
throw
want
paint
to
on the wall
try and dream it into existence or think that it, this is it.
or control it. You're not like
that's
where you do just surrender and you're like, okay, like you're not going to have any control with, and you're a Virgo sun. Like you absolutely want things a certain way.
Yeah.
So
it's good to desire things. It's good to, want things. Saturn's going to come into your 8th house in the next two years. Saturn return in the 8th. Saturn also rules your 6th. There's just a lot that isn't going to be the perfected way or the way that you would like it to be. And
it is exciting.
Exactly. That's the faith part.
Yeah.
And just, water off a duck's back. And when things show up, change them. And, stay responsible and stay dedicated. And you're going to do just fine. And Uranus is coming towards your North Node. Mm-hmm. That's great. You've had Uranus square your Venus.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
wild.
Uranus on your North Node. Oh my gosh. That is such going to be an
that,
activation.
Maybe this is like the wild, crazy career path that's going to take you where you need to go. But it's like showing up for it and going through the changes. But feeling secure and feeling empowered through it is everything. And not letting, the little things get to you. But change the big things.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing your chart with us. This was, you're like going through a whole new, it's going to be a whole new Ella. New Ella. And, it is very exciting, and just embrace and surrender And that the more that you let go of control and just let it flow, girl. Let it flow. Let that frequency of love flow. Thank you for sharing your chart. And we're sending you so much love.
Putting this on timeout.
Oh, I know. I was going to say that, but I was just like, I figured he'd stop, but I mean, it's just so goofy.
It's just very goofy.
It's silly.
You're so welcome.
Yes. So thank you. Thank you. And you are a gifted healer. So send us that frequency. We're feeling that frequency of love. Who's next? Oh, DJ Drea. Is she in the chat? DJ Drea. If not, then you know that you can come back and look it over. Because I know, yeah, DJ Drea. September 20th night. Yeah, because she said that she has a lot of, that she knows the Virgo energy, because she was saying a long time in other chats that she's got a lot of Virgo energy. So September 20th, 1966, 8:45 a.m., Montreal, Canada. DJ Drea, let's go.
All right. All right, DJ. So same things I said, kind of, you're part of that Pluto-Uranus generation. This one's really,
Well, yeah, 66.
Right.
They both are in the Ella and DJ Drea.
You have these both in your 11th, and Venus is with your Pluto. So having such a, deep 11th house
I have you down,
there,
Elizabeth. I got all your info.
Having such a deep 11th house there is this soul that's trying to liberate itself, not do things the same way. Did you get Oh.
Yeah.
Not do things the same way. It's trying to break free from, the routines and the rigidness of society in some way, and to find balance. As a Libra rising, it's like, okay, well, how do I find balance in this world? How do I do things my way but still, take part in everything? Because having Pluto in the 11th can be, an extreme outcast. It can be someone who's just full anarchist, doesn't do anything they're told ever from the day they're born, pretty much. And, they can be very isolated from people at the same time. Or, this is somebody who wants to change the world by doing things differently. Somebody that's like, I'm going to make it my purpose to do things my way and to link up with people. And that's the polarity point of the fifth house that's so important, is like courage. It's so important to like find courage, find strength, find out who you are. When you know who you are, even if you're different, even if you're unique, even if you're not doing what everybody else is doing, but you're showing out and lighting the way, you're a trendsetter, you're a leader. And that's part of the evolution, is to develop your courage so that you can embrace every part of your individual nature and do things your way. And it can come from an anarchist place at some point in your life, or not, or it's just like, I feel like there's a better way for society, and that's part of your job here, is to like be unique and different and show people there's another way to be, another way to value life, another way to relate, having Venus and Pluto there. Now Venus and Pluto is very, it gets tight there, it gets, consumed. It can be consumed with friends, it can be consumed with, any kind of relationship where it becomes the everything. It's great to want to be around people, or to feel like people bring some sense of deep emotional comfort into your life. But if people, go their separate way, you can take that it could be difficult. You can take it hard. It's learning that it's okay to separate. It's okay to disconnect. It is okay to be on your own. It is okay to find yourself. Sometimes people might just leave so that you can purify and organize and get things together in your life. Also, with money and Venus and Pluto, that's like another aspect, Venus and Virgo with Pluto there, this could be, money could be something that you could feel like you're extremely, it could feel tight at times. Could feel like it's always tight. Like, if I can't spend that on I can't do this, I can't do that. You gotta eventually learn that, like, your value, because your North Node is connected very deeply to that Venus in Virgo, and it's also connected to your Pluto with trines and your Uranus. is that it's okay to merge with value too. It's okay to build value in relationships, and that you don't have to be so hard or so tight with things, whether it's money or whether it's yourself. The more that you can connect with people, the more that you can relate with people, the more value you will find in life. And it can be, very helpful. Now, maybe, again, having a south node with Neptune in Scorpio, there is probably this like deeper, like you feel like you're very tied to possibly yourself in the first house, but also your desires and the people you do decide to merge with and identify with as maybe relationships, or even just friend groups, because both your dispositors of your nodes, Pluto and Venus, happen to be conjunct in your 11th house in Virgo, and you are a Virgo. So there is this little conundrum here around holding on and needing people in your life to feel a sense of security, or to things are put together. And I think that as a Libra, yeah, you're here to do relationships, but in a more independent way. That's the North Node. And also Mars in Leo too, square your nodes. Mars is a big point, that's you. That's your identity, your desires, your nature that, gets you up out of bed every day. And especially in the 10th house, again, it's like being able to dedicate yourself to what it is you want to take responsibility for in this life, how to focus your desires onto the things that really light you up, bring you happiness, let you get, energy out. These are all things that can help you manifest, whether it's money or relationships. And also, I think it had to start again with relationships, because the North Node transited with your Mars last before you were born. So I think that there is also this interesting, like, relationships kind of had to come first in some way, so that you could get maybe attached or kind of deal with things, so that you could learn to let go and really like know that you're good, that you're solid, that you're fine. Every time, a relationship doesn't work out, it's not the end of the fairy tale of your life. Maybe the fairy tale of the life that you thought with some person, but it just opened up another, door, another dream, portal to the next one. You're a 12th houser, 12th house sun, 12th house Mercury. Like, fantasy plays a big role, and a south node with Neptune. So it's good to have these ideals, these dreams, but it's kind of like, how do you intensify things for like your self-worth? And how do you not just like also just be too letting, it's either that you let things go and slide too much when you shouldn't, and they actually are something important that needs to have like real attention brought to it, or you over intensify situations because it didn't fit your version of whatever the perfected dream was supposed to be.
We were talking about that today, just with like in general with people. I mean, again, I can relate to that, because I'm like, oh, it's not going to go that way? Oh, that's news to me.
Right.
Wow, because I just dreamed that. That's not manifesting in this reality?
What's cool though, Drea, is DJ Drea? You have Atlantis conjunct Regulus.
Yeah.
So
and that's like past life ancestry.
Yeah, you might have some past life in like Atlantis is like royalty. Some like high up,
Yeah. And it obviously it's in the 11th too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, which I think too is interesting, because Atlantis wasn't so patriarchal in a sense of like this, like there were hierarchies, I'm sure. I think that there's been that forever. Capricorn's been in a zodiac since the beginning of time. There's hierarchies to every part of this reality, but it was more about the people, like being a leader for the people, which I think, again, we started off with that. That's something that you're here to do. Yeah. Is be that like leader for the people, but you had to go through and like understand yourself in a big way about, how to take charge for what your heart wants, maybe not just the dream that your heart attaches itself to or wants, to see so badly, but to, I don't know. What do you like? What are your real desires? I feel like Lucifer from
Tell
that
us.
Like, how do you really dedicate to what brings happiness and value into your life. And I think people are a big part of it. But
her Merlin's on your moon.
It's doing things in a different way. So, however society taught you to relate is definitely not the way.
Ella's Merlin was on your moon too. They both got Merlin on your moon.
Yeah, they're really close in age.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because August, September, like literally what, a month apart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because Ella has Atlantis in the 12th, though, in Leo. Mm-hmm. So even more, like, definitely, yeah, past. I mean, yeah, but that it's on Regulus, too. She could have been a king or queen in that. Or something that had to do with, like, 11th house, like, you know, yeah, community, bringing people together. Could be technology, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. And you have a moon in Sag, and, you know, moon and Sages want to go out and have fun. Like, a moon in Sag kind of wants to, I use this term lightly, but there's like a sloppiness to it where it's like, it doesn't really care. It just wants to have a good time. It wants to feel good. It wants to have fun. It wants to be jovial. Wants to experience, to travel, all these, you know, all these things.
Just wants to go.
And all these big feelings and all these big ideals around, you know, different beliefs and systems in life. But it's square your Venus. And it's square Pluto. So there's like, and it's not square your Sun, but by sign it is. So it's, you know, building up to a first quarter square. So I do think that there's a lot that you want inside, but like there's doubts on the outside. That's part of the liberation, is like there's certain things that you're doubting yourself because maybe you know you're learning to really identify with confidence in this life and to like show it. And it's like you can have all those things that you want within you, but unless you find the courage and the confidence to go for them, you know, they'll always feel like outcasted away from you, which can make you feel outcasted from some of the greatest gifts that you have.
Does she have Pandora on her ascendant?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In the 12th.
Wow. In Libra.
Yeah, you got to open that box.
Yeah.
I think that's, you know, open the box.
The South Node will approach that, like, next year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, coming up on your Saturn return also, and that's going to be big around your day-to-day life and, you know, different things that you might want to keep, you know, really perfected, or different things that you carry, you know, on your shoulders that are too much. Saturn's going to show you exactly what you need to keep in your life physically and what you don't. And it's, you know, pretty simple. And Saturn also rules your 4th. So Saturn's going to be on your Chiron. It's going to have your Saturn return. Saturn rules your 4th house. It's dealing with, like, the home life, too. Your family life. You know, and maybe like making different, you know, emotional commitments. Maybe doing more at home, which your moon might not want to do. It might want to be all over the place. There.
Oh. We're back.
Yeah. Internet.
We're back.
Anyways. Yeah, you have a little bit of that yod. So there, it is very like, life throws weird curveballs at you. To, I think, you know, have you break out of any sort of fears within yourself. Any time that you, like, don't want to fully show out and kind of represent the courage that you have in life to do things differently, to relate to people. There's a lot of, like, built into that this is, like, go for it. You know, this is a life of, like, break out, break free, find courage, change your reality, make reality your dream. You know, be the boss of that reality. But realize that, too, you can't control everything outside of you. You can't control people. People are never going to show up in your perfected, you know, vision the way maybe you'd like them to. That's okay. Just be confident in yourself. You'll find people to really connect to and that are doing similar things.
Lana, I hope you're not on the bottom floor. I've had to deal with that situation before, and yeah. And I don't ever know why I want to live on the bottom floor. Because, yeah, that would happen. Yeah.
The bottom floor is only nice for one thing, and that's moving in and moving out.
Right. Right. I know, because
Otherwise, people just walk on your head. It's super noisy.
yeah, the last place I lived, it's like I really was like, okay, I'm never doing the bottom floor again. Like, I don't care. I'll get movers to move everything up.
Oh, in the middle.
3 different people flooded. Yeah. Well, right. So
Wow.
the divine was watching out for you, and they'll take care of everybody else in divine timing. Yeah. And we were talking about Saturn moon that day. All those people in the chat with the charts that had Saturn moon. When was that? What's today? Sunday? So that was Thursday. Yeah, it was like a Saturn moon situation. Okay, DJ, with your transits.
Yeah, so just had your nodal return. You're also going to have a lunar eclipse opposite your north node and on your south node. That'll be at 16 degrees of Scorpio. So, woo. This eclipse season is going to be, a big sort of destiny spot for you. Mm-hmm. Which I think is like, again, there's some sort of thing that you feel within yourself that is so important or desired or makes you feel like yourself. It could be some kind of a hidden element. Like, really, it's like coming out. It's trying to come out in a really physical, really beautiful way, a really creative way, a really, manifested way. But it's like you got to let go of something that is kind of holding you back. It's going to happen however it happens. Things are going to take place, but it's like testing you to not just be on your own or, be some, loner in this life, but to really link up with people. Could, potentially bring in a relationship. It will be in great aspects to your Venus and your Pluto with sextiles. And also the solar eclipse will be trine your Atlantis. So maybe it's just like you're just clicking and starting to even see on a more evolved level like what your role in society is as a unique individual and how to connect that energy with people and how to, I think, bring so much of this power that you have within you, but for like win-win situations and like balanced situations with anybody that you're in contact with. But maybe that involves feeling like you have to give up a piece of yourself that you have identified so strongly with, maybe from the past or maybe, something that you consciously remember in this life.
Yeah.
But definitely a big deal. And Saturn's in your 5th, so like by all means, please like express yourself, be creative, love, show, be romantic. Be romantic with yourself, whatever you got to do. Like Saturn in the 5th can want to, halt that feeling a little bit. Like it definitely won't, says, no, you can't just go enjoy yourself or be creative. You have work to do, or you have to do things that society wants you to do. And it can be a little mentally or emotionally confusing too in Pisces.
I had Saturn on my Lilith, and I felt like it was actually a good transit. I'm just throwing that in there. But because, it will like repress some type of, because Pisces, like fantasy or desire in the 5th, but it's almost like Saturn doesn't want you to like, I don't know. He's like,
it's like trying to limit you.
Yeah.
And you don't,
but it was
don't
empowering.
Limit yourself right now.
Like it wasn't a bad, I feel like it was good to have Saturn on my Lilith for a little bit.
Yeah, I think when all's said and done, like it's good to have Saturn everywhere, wherever we get Saturn at certain points in our life, because Saturn always teaches us to grow up in that part of our life. So like you're actually being tested to grow up in your expression of self and your creativity and, love yourself unconditionally.
Right
now. And Saturn throws curveballs at us to teach us these lessons or, makes it feel like it's harder than it needs to be to get to that point. And with Neptune on your Saturn, you could feel a little...
I just feel like Saturn, I just want to say, is like,
in
it's
reality.
depression. Saturn equals depression. Like, not in everybody in such a heavy way, but it does. That's like what it feels like when it's hitting like certain areas or planets. It's like it's heavy, but you're just kind of like, ugh, like, is the sun gonna come out again? Like, I need to it's just heavy energy anytime it's Saturn.
Very much.
It's in Pisces, so I don't really know what that vibration is going to be like. It definitely has been different. I can already feel it's been obviously completely opposite of Capricorn. It definitely
softens Saturn.
Yeah. So, right, that's a positive, even though people
But
would
it's
say
very
it's
karmic.
not. Yeah.
It's like a lot of ways, especially
Hello,
because Saturn,
Leslie.
because it is like society or these rules that have been made by society. You have it retrograde, you have all that 11th house. I mean, you're simply not here to just follow the rules. Like the rules that
No,
were
I
told
feel
to you.
like
Like there
she
are certain
doesn't.
rules that we all should follow, like, natural laws and, treating other people well and treating ourselves well and not, destroying other,
Paying our
things that don't belong
taxes.
to us. Sure, paying your taxes. It's a long story. But yeah, it's like also defining your own, rules based on your divine law in
Gaia.
Pisces and, having faith that that's the right way for you and that you're building your own values that you can, help the collective see and find
Yeah.
at the same token.
Yeah,
So-
you and Ella got to keep us up to date.
And I mean, for you, you're Sun opposite Saturn. So again, your life's always Sun opposite Saturn, Uranus opposite Chiron, Sun opposite Chiron. It can always feel like there's some
balance.
opposing force in life that tries to keep you from your dreams, like reality. Just reality always shows up and tries to get back in here. And you're like,
Yeah.
wait, no, I was trying to liberate and disconnect and
Right.
do my own thing. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, no, you're not on time. You better be on time. So in some ways too, it's like you are kind of creating your own time that you got to make for yourself too, and like give, that's balance. That's Libra rising. Like time for yourself, time for others, time for this, time for that, time. How do you delegate time is very important.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, Saturn's going to oppose all that and have your Saturn return, and that's a lot. I mean, again, your Sun is the ruler of your 11th house. We've talked a lot about your 11th house. Venus is getting, aspected by this lunar eclipse. That's your chart ruler. It rules your 8th house. Saturn's coming up. You're having Saturn return your 6th, ruler your 4th. I mean, I think that this is like a great time for you to transform everything that isn't unique and special to you, and where you're sick and tired of doing things that you don't even feel like have purpose, or they're just already they're a type of sloppy that your moon in Sag doesn't even want to identify with because it's not fun. It doesn't bring value. It doesn't bring the things that make you feel secure into this life, outward and outwardly expressed. Those things, just let them go. Let them go.
Yeah.
They're not as important as you might think they are, and I think that that's part of this, test in time for you as well.
And I just feel like her energy and her vibe is very like, I feel like she's more like embraces that moon in Sag.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, of course, like, right, this is the chart you incarnated with, so, lots
Yeah.
of,
You get a Saturn return with North Node on your Saturn, on your Chiron. Saturn or North Node in your 6th. Yeah, there's just parts that are, there's just like
thank you, Leslie.
a nice
Thank
check.
you.
Oh yeah, your hair does look amazing.
It's Easter hair.
She got it all tuned up today.
Oh yeah, I just like touch up my roots on my own. My mom was a hairdresser, so I'm just like, give me that color and I'll
speaking
just
of
slap
tuned
it
up,
on.
this is like DJ Drea. This is
Thank you.
This is your tune-up. You're gonna start really tuning up your
Hey,
reality to your
Cody.
frequency. What up, Cody? So.
Right back at ya.
Oh, sure you're looking good, brother.
Yeah. But yeah, DJ Drea, I feel like you're, just because I've seen your comments before, and
Yeah, me too.
yeah, like your energy and your vibe, like, right, we've all been through a lot of crazy shit, so we're not, and that you're gonna go through a lot of, I mean, right, it's just gonna keep coming, but that I feel you've harnessed, your, like, not, I feel like you don't suppress yourself. I mean, and if you do, don't.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Don't.
that's, also Pluto that's been opposing your Jupiter. Like,
Yeah.
whatever you've been, like, holding back it's time to like really let that out. Like
Yeah.
you have some really special knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
and it comes from your emotions, and it comes from inside. And I think that when you are able to communicate and express that,
Thank you, guys.
you know, you're doing big things. So
Thank you,
anytime
Ella.
you can let the world know your wisdom and not, you know, battle with like, well, is it important? Is it going to be, you know, should I tell that? Like, you don't have to battle with like what people think about you. It's really more about your relationship to yourself and being easier on
Thank
yourself.
you.
And maybe you don't care what people think about you, but maybe it's like what you think about yourself that is the like the ticker. So it's like as soon as you release that judgment, then so many of these gifts and all these beautiful things come to you. And maybe you've already learned that in your life, and I hope that's true. But a lot of seventh house stuff right now. Eclipses in your seventh. This is definitely like, there's going to be aspects that are trying to harmonize your life. There could be people, there could be relationships. You don't want to block things out right now or be overly hard on yourself or others to where you're not, you know, seeing how beautiful and physical life can be with another person. So I'll end with that.
Oh, it added it. Look at, I'm getting so good at this technology thing.
All right. Robyn's up next.
Robyn, are you in the chat, Robyn? Where you at, Robyn?
Happy birthday coming up here soon.
Yeah, April 25th, 1979, 4:18 p.m., Chicago, Illinois. Is that you, Celestial Nurse? Are you Robyn? I saw, oh, you're just putting hearts. Yes, hearts to all of you guys. If I had candy, oh, you probably love that if I had candy, little Easter eggs, and just threw them all over.
Cadbury eggs.
Oh, you want a Cadbury? I should have gotten you an Easter basket.
I don't want them, but yeah.
Oh, Robyn's in the chat. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Does everything look correct, Robyn? Yes, Elizabeth.
Yeah, it's Lauren.
Yeah. That's me. Does it all, the info look, yeah, so you're early degree Taurus. So, right, North Node, Sun, you got that going on right now. Right now. So, gosh, how much transformation have you gone through, Robyn, since January 18th of 2020? I hope you went to, or wait, where are her nodes? Look at, I'm getting all.
Pisces, Virgo.
Okay, yeah. But still, what else does she have in Taurus?
Chiron.
Ooh, Atlantis in Taurus. That's, oh my gosh, your Atlantis is on DJ Drea had something at 19, or Ella did. I can't remember, but your Atlantis is on one of their planets. Oh, wait, no, it's Ella has, I think, Venus at 19. Yeah. Guys got some past life Atlantean stuff in this chat going on.
One of them had it at a 29, Leo.
No, that was DJ Drea. And no, but Ella's Venus is at 19.
Oh, okay.
And her North Node's there too, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Venus, North. Okay. Well, now we're getting off topic. But
see it.
but I was just like, yeah.
No,
it's like, it's just very interesting how, no, go back to, look at, no, oh,
Taurus, not Virgo.
Okay, okay, gotcha. Her Venus is in Leo. Okay, right, that's what I was talking about. North Node, Ella's North Node and your Atlantis are conjunct. So, congratulations for all of you guys being in the chat. That there's some type of synchronistic connection. But go ahead, babe. Take it away. Take it away.
Pluto in the first house, identities. You're here to learn who you are. You could have a very strong sense of yourself. You could be very on it. You could change up identity often, especially around relationships. There could be a lot of your identity that gets morphed through relationships with people. That's because Pluto's in Libra. You're also a Libra rising. So, and that's exactly what you're here to do, is like learn relationships, learn how to understand the other side of things. There's always another side. How do you balance things out? How do you learn how to, give as much as you receive as much as you give?
Jupiter's on her vertex right now.
Yeah, I was going to talk about her Aries in a second. Just got a lot going on there.
What? In the 7th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, you go first and then I'll chime in.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to talk about the
Well,
notes first.
I do know, well, personally, because I have a lot of friends that have moon in the 7th, but then, astrologers will say that moon in the 7th, that is one that does not let go of relationships. If ever, not easily. Like, you will definitely stay in something even if it's time to go. Or have. I'm not saying that that's what it's like now.
We're almost back.
Should we move the box over here or?
No, it's directly connected. It's not on Wi-Fi.
I know, right? I was going to say that, Robyn.
I don't know why it won't pick up the bit rate.
Oh, Are we back?
Kinda back. Well,
It's almost like we have to just
I don't think it's gonna stabilize itself, unfortunately.
It says we can hear you now.
Yeah, but it's not it's very unstable.
What if we just
So the bit rate is jumping all over the place, and I don't know why.
What if we just reboot and come back on?
Yeah, we can try.
Because it's not green. Like you said, it needs to be.
No, it's very unstable.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to reboot. And we'll be back in 5.
I don't know how long it's going to take.
Okay, now it's green. If this happens again, though, then we're going to have to reboot.
If this happens again, I need to, go deeper into some system stuff, and we need to put an order in for a new router, but...
Well, we did. I don't know what's wrong with Cox. I'll call them tomorrow. So the good things and friends are coming. Patience.
It disconnects like it just did again, we're going to call it tonight, and I'm going to try my hardest to fix the issues, but...
Yes,
I'll probably be able to fix it for the next one, but I don't think we'll be able to come back tonight and do it, is what I mean. But yeah, so far.
Okay, yeah, we'll just go until we can't go anymore. But I was saying with that, and so obviously, you know what I mean? Don't, it's the next one is energies of Gaia. So if it stops on Robyn's reading, then we'll just have to pick up when we come back. We have 3 more people. But Robyn, what I was going to say, right? I was going to say exactly what you put in the chat. I was I said Jupiter's either going to take something away or bring something in. But what I mean by that is really I've only seen Jupiter on the vertex as Jupiter, right? It's positive. But if you're in something that isn't in alignment, I've seen Jupiter where it's taken it away. But I would say
Jupiter,
that...
It's not that Jupiter takes things away, but Jupiter is an amplifier. So if you think about Jupiter in your 7th house, it can amplify bringing people into your life. But if you're in relationships that are out of balance, out of alignment, Jupiter will amplify those situations so that the chapter in the story turns.
Yeah. Right.
If you will. So,
but it could definitely bring something in 100% because that's a big
Yeah.
planet to be hitting your vertex. That only happens every 12 years, so if you are single, well, it doesn't but it does have to do with people. So I don't know. It could amplify if you're in a relationship, it getting, if it's in alignment, I don't know, it's usually something.
Bring in, please. Well, maybe
Yeah.
You're also having eclipses.
Yeah.
This eclipse season is going to be, the solar eclipse is in your 7th house. So, I think that it's very likely that, relationships do get brought into you. But I think also, it's not like you can just do them the same way that you have been either. You're a 7th house sun and moon and a balsamic moon. Yeah, I think that you end up in you close out a lot of sort of karmic relationships, if you will. And you're meant to, and it helps you find yourself when you're in relationships. So that's good. But I think, anytime for a Libra rising, their relationships do have to be equally identified as yourself and another. It can't just be the other, or just be the relationship. So you guys both have to have your identities figured out and understood. So this can be a great time of getting your self understood on a, better, if you want to call it better, but on a more deeper, this is me, this is what I'm doing, this is who I am now. I'm not just gonna, do relationships the way that I have in the past because they're gonna fall apart.
And I would say that, if you dig a romantic relationship and you wanted to bring something in, that this would be a transit to manifest with, because it's at 20. So, it's there, but it'll be right on there very soon. And so this would be you manifesting however that is, whatever you visualize in a partner that's really in alignment with you. You can energetically call that in, absolutely.
Yeah, I think you got to know the big vision of what you're looking for, right? So what it is that you really do identify with, and see how that can come in.
It's going to be on your vertex during the eclipse.
It is.
Yeah. So when people want to talk about manifestation, you should be manifesting with transits like these. And that don't come around a lot. And because it's Jupiter, just feel, but manifesting is feeling it and being yes, I deserve, a king or queen. Because I am
going to come into your 8th house. So you're finishing up Jupiter in the 7th and getting Jupiter in the 8th. And
oh God, I'm still in Jupiter in my 8th house. And let me tell you.
Yeah, oof. It brings up, that's trying to bring a merger into your life and have you go deeper into trust and go deeper into another person and deeper into yourself and emotions. And it's a lot, it's a lot of deep feeling that kind of can't just stay in either, or it feels like it's way too much. So you have to express that too.
Right.
But your moon, gosh, you just went through Pluto moon. Pluto in Capricorn over the last couple years here squaring your moon. So you're just coming out of that 2 years. This could really feel like a time when there's light at the end of the tunnel. Pluto square moon it can feel like a deep, dark hole in some ways. And it can also, have you really want certain things emotionally or in relationships or even in career for you. The moon rules your 10th house as a Libra rising. So I think it's responsibility. Maybe not. Maybe it's career. Maybe not. Maybe you had to go through a job change. Maybe a job transformation. It's very possible that something like that could have transpired.
Or a Pluto moon in the 7th, or a breakup. Oh my gosh! Could have been a
breakup from a career.
Yeah. Right. Anything that's related to 7th house.
It could have been home situations that took you away from maybe something you were really dedicated to. It could be, there's a few ways it can go, but it definitely transformed to get you more in alignment with what you really want to be emotionally responsible for.
Yeah.
and how to really like take that authority back for yourself too. So congratulations for getting out of that.
Yeah.
But now Pluto's going to come square your sun.
Well, I feel like you've been through a Pluto moon. Okay.
Pluto square
sun.
sun's a little more outward. Pluto square moon's really, really inward.
No, I know, but
It's
I feel like if she
really
survived
deep
that,
emotions, and
she can survive a Pluto
it can
sun.
also kind of like try and, again, keep some of these things in that might be feeling,
Yeah.
but it's a huge depth of feeling transit for 2 years.
Yeah, that's what Pluto square your moon is. So many of my friends that had Libra moons went through that, and that is a life-changing transit. They're not the same person, like literally, but it's a lot was taken away that they did not want to. I don't know. Pluto square moon is some shadow, like you need to do some shadow work. That is shadow work. But but you're not, but it's like you don't want to, but you like don't have a choice.
Yeah, you're being met with a huge inner activation.
Yeah. And you got through that.
That can change some things and make, take you out of your comfort zone big time. And it could have had a lot to do with family. It could have had a lot to do with relationships. It could have had a lot to do with work. I mean, it's definitely in these like cardinal angular houses for you that are really getting hit by that. And the sun is the ruler of your 11th house. And it's going to get hit with that. So I think like you are in like this way of relating very, very differently than how you have in the past. Like kind of like a big breakout moment, break free moment. You've had Uranus on your sun since 2020, Uranus on your Chiron. So Uranus has already been tapping. Hey, time to liberate yourself. Okay, you've been doing things the same. We're gonna zap you.
We're not doing that anymore, Robyn.
You just got hit with the lightning bolt. See?
Yeah.
Changes are happening, whether you're going into the future, whether you like it or not.
Right. Yeah. It's like you have
but
no
it
choice but
expedites
to
and
surrender.
speeds things up.
Yeah.
And Uranus really, in the end, wants to throw you into the heavens. So, like, every time it feels like it's throwing you into hell, it's really just accelerating you towards the heavens.
A lot of people, when their Pluto squares the moon, they'll go and, like, until the transformation, like, has to be made. It can be addiction. It can be, like, yeah, you're like, this is painful. I've got to escape this in whatever way. But, yeah, I would say Pluto squaring the moon is, I don't know. To me, I feel like that's the hardest of all the moon transits for Pluto. I mean, I guess then the next one would be conjunction. But, I mean, like, really the square to your moon from Pluto is...
Conjunctions are the full transformation.
Right.
The squares are...
You're resisting, even though you have to make a change.
There are moments where there's just action that... Squares force action.
Right.
So a conjunction's like a way deeper transformation and can really feel like a complete death and rebirth situation.
Yeah.
The square's not so much of a death and rebirth situation as it is you have the power to act with a square. It wants you to do something. It wants you to be more responsible for what you want to identify with.
It's an initiator.
For your passions. Or what needs to be let go of that isn't something that you actually want to be responsible for or take action for. And you're in your Saturn opposition. You have Saturn in Virgo. So that's another kicker too. And Saturn's going to come to your south node. So I think that really is a lot of like what Pluto was getting you ready for here is like, how do you really take responsibility and not just kind of float around reality, but like, I think get serious about how you're making your dream a reality, who you're making your dream a reality with. And I think also, not everything has to be such a high standard either. Like, you also want to use your South Node to show, compassion and empathy for every situation to yourself and for others. And then you can like analyze it and like, kind of close the chapter. Because with the balsamic moon and the North Node in the 12th, I feel like you're closing a lot of loose ends from like previous lives in this life. And it can feel like it's just a door closing. The big door to the universe opens up. And I think it's through work and it's through service and it's through, an understanding that perfection only lasts in the moment. And it's not a forever thing either. And people aren't perfect. You're not perfect. But we're perfectly imperfect. And also Saturn's the ruler of your 4th house, and with all that moon squares that you've been going through and Jupiter on your moon, yeah, just, home life is something that needs to be, I guess, paid more attention to also.
Mm-hmm.
Something that you'll have to like find balance and, focus on. Because if you're just putting too much effort into friends or what you're doing out in the world or anything of that nature, then like, are you really paying attention to what's emotionally close to you that is important to deal with? So it's a little bit of like, Saturn wants you to learn how to like let some things go and dissolve things and like, take some breaks in Pisces a little bit, but it wants you to also not do the same thing over and over and over again. So I feel like you're getting a pattern test here. Are you going to keep doing the same things over and over again that you think are liberating you, but they're actually just keeping you in the same cycle?
And Chiron was just on your Mars, so probably like holding you back from taking action. You know what I mean? Because like that's, and like, yeah, ego and like all of that, but yeah, I mean, like, well, you've gone through.
Yeah, you have Chiron on your Mars.
Yeah.
That feels debilitating.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of healing when you're finding who you are right now. When you're like really being like, yeah, this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I want to go do. This is what I'm really attracted to even, or, what I want to get into. Like,
Right.
But again, are you actually doing those things or not? I think that's like the question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would just say for you that, you need to manifest with that Jupiter vertex and that, look, you've had Chiron on your Merc. Gosh, you had Chiron on your Venus. I mean, look, Robyn,
I would say that this is the moment where like an actually like very healing relationship could be ready to come in.
Yes. Because Pluto square moon, Chiron on your Venus, like.
But it's like also time to like embrace your wounds and the things that you're maybe sensitive about and just like.
I bet you could write a book, Robyn, and this is the whole thing. It's like you've gone through, I can feel this chart. It's like, right? You've been through some heavy shit. But even just like sharing your chart, it's like you are now like you can help really heal people in whatever way that is on what you have gone through. Like even maybe like, because you're clearly into astrology and, you can tell people, yeah, Chiron Venus, yeah, I know what that's like. And a Pluto square moon, you are not the same person at all.
And I bet that through everything, like, you're probably a more confident person now. So it's like really leading with that confidence and not doubting yourself.
Yeah, you just need to like you've been through healing, okay? And that's always going to happen, so just go. Don't let anything hold you back. I feel like you've been held back for a really long time.
Yeah, Mars is about to come into your 10th. That's going to give you a big boost. And it's going to square your Venus, square your Mercury, square your Mars at the end. There's a lot that's about to get kickstarted for you.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to use that level that you've grown to.
All that Aries energy.
And your authority and like, this is what I want. So what do you want? Is it a relationship? What kind of relationship?
Mm-hmm. And that
what kind of person?
Right.
And if you just find the first thing that comes in, are you just going to do it because you want a relationship?
Oh my God.
Even though it's not what you really find value in or what, feels good or identified with what you want. These are other things too.
Well, I would hope, Robyn, after going through a Chiron Venus and a Pluto moon, that you are not going to let anybody come in that's not coming to your doorstep, correct? Like, I would hope so. And I understand because you got that moon in the 7th. So you are ready to burst because this energy can feel paralyzing, but it's almost like you've gone through this crazy transformation and you need to trust yourself to just go, because you have a lot of Aries energy. It's like, don't let any type of fear or insecurity, because that's what Chiron also brings up, is our wounds and our insecurities and all of that. Like,
and in Taurus, that's really what Chiron and Taurus is a big, like, insecurity.
Like, just, oh my God, oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, I have Chiron and Taurus too. I was like, wait, am I not? Okay. I was talking about the Chiron Venus thing, but yeah, like, you shouldn't even let anybody come to, like, they need to be coming correct. And I think that that's why you've gone through all of this, to be like, when the universe does bring something in, that you need, and you also need to just like trust it too, because going through all that, you could really be like, oh my God, well, you said you want something to come in, so that's great. At least you're not closed off to that. Like, don't close your heart to any, like, you just gotta open your heart, have the discernment on, and just really, like, I think you've gone through all this so it can bring in now something that's really in alignment, but that your worth, and that it will come in, because this is like, yeah, I mean, I know I say this in every reading, but this is the Phoenix rising. Like, this is, yeah, it's so, you've gone through a lot of pain, like, that you have felt on an intense level that people wouldn't even understand. But the power is in the pain and through it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, you're from darkness to light. And I think that you really need to, if you need to come back and listen to this and reference, like, you just go. Just go. Just go. What are we dropping again? Mm-hmm. But yeah, Robyn, thank you for sharing this chart, because gosh, I can feel what you have been through. But it's all like, you should now understand and really embrace, like, wow, I fucking got through that. How did I survive that? Well, you did. And you are powerful. And so, yeah, girl. Manifesting,
yeah, girl.
In alignment, connection for Robyn. Universe,
look, I feel
you
like
have to bring in, I don't care, any squares, you've got to bring in something.
Someone's coming in. It's just, she's got decisions to make about whatever comes in. So just let's leave it
at that. Let's just leave it at that.
Look, Robyn, you got decisions to make. Don't jump on the first thing that comes in just because it looks pretty. Is it actually pretty?
I don't think she will. That's all I'm going to tell you.
I'm done. We're done with you. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you so much.
I don't think that she will, because there's no way, after going through that much, that you would, why in God's name would you ever want to let somebody that's not in alignment with you even come in after all that? I'd rather be alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
From 1 7th house sun to another.
I know, with Venus and Mars. But I don't know, Robyn.
From 1 7th house sun.
I know. I have so much faith in you that you are not going to let a fucked up energy come into your goddess frequency energy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Jupiter vertex. Picture that. Like, I don't know, who's your celebrity crush? Orlando Bloom. I don't know. Who's the other one? Who do I like? I'm like, I'll name mine. I don't know. Well, I do. A Keanu Reeves. I don't know. Whatever that is, but like
them earth signs.
I know. I do. I do. Whatever that is. Oh, I like Tom Hardy too. He's a Virgo. Just envision it. But like, yeah, just, I'm manifesting it for you.
Yeah, you'll be good.
Much love, girl. And
something's coming in though. So yeah, congratulations. You're going to get what you want.
It is. So keep us posted. Thank you for sharing your chart with all of us.
All right. Energies of Gaia.
Energies of Gaia. Are you in the chat?
Angie.
Oh, you
Happy
know
birthday.
Angie?
Yeah, she's been a follower of my channel since.
Oh, okay.
Gosh, I might have had 50 subscribers.
Well, I would have
back
just
when
put
she started
Angie then.
watching. So yeah, she's been a follower since the beginning. So
Well,
shout out
hello,
to Angie. Thank
Angie.
you. She's also born on my mother's birthday,
I did notice that. I did.
April 14th, 1980. Mm-hmm. Oh, Adam Driver. We just watched a movie.
Wait, who's that? Why don't I?
Or
know?
no. We watched you watched the trailer for it of like was it in the movie theater that we saw, like the dinosaur when he went back 65 million years ago.
Oh, okay, that's him. Oh, yeah. Watch that movie. Watch some Adam Driver movies and just man, that is the power of like feeling that frequency. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He's sexy. He's in some new movie called 65 that we both want to see, and it's very galactic. So maybe you should rent that.
All right, Angie.
Should I make you a
April 14th,
coffee?
19. No, it's okay.
I think I need to. A cappuccino. Or I'm sorry, just a shot of espresso. Yeah, I do. Why am I even asking you? It's just stupid. Why am I even asking you?
You want me to wake up early tomorrow, don't you?
Oh, you will be up early.
Oh. All right, Angie. So hopefully your chart's right. 2:12 a.m., Denver, Colorado. So yeah, same birthday as my mom. Pretty cool. Sometimes Easter falls on your birthday. Every now and then. Well, what do we got here? Oh, you got Pluto in the 8th, Karma in the 8th, Saturn in the 8th, Pandora's box in the 8th. Dang, Angie. Well, Pluto in the 8th is a soul that's been working behind the scenes in some kind of deep endeavor. Usually it's somebody who's a soul that's very accustomed to not only magic but alchemy, to astrology. Usually these people find a deep interest in tarot. I happen to know you read tarot on your channel, so it's like something your soul's been doing for a very long time, going into the deeper, asking the whys. It's like Pluto in the 8th looks up at the sky and it's just like, why? I have Pluto in the 8th, and there were so many times growing up that I'd look up at the sky and just be like, there's something important with the sky. Like I didn't fully come to my remembrance until I was older, but it's just like there's a reason that these are here. and I don't know, I could just like see like lines that would connect them too. It was kind of crazy. So maybe you feel that way too, but it's like your soul's been doing these deeper realm questions and asking why for a very long time in your evolution. And not only that, but it's also been working with people. It's been working in relationships, mergers. Pluto in the 8th, people know how to get what they want. They know how, it can be a little manipulative, but like that's what the soul's learning, is that it's powerful. That's like the essence in the 8th house, is that it's learning how powerful your soul is, and that it can attract in what it wants, and that it can receive what it wants. And if it doesn't have it, it will go out and attract it in through one way or another. So it's learning, also to go to the 2nd house, which is where your moon is at in Aries, where your Mercury's at, is that, you have to be able to do this stuff on your own too. And you have your South Node in your 1st in Aquarius. So maybe it's not so hard. Maybe you are learning the fine line between also trusting. It's a soul that's learning to trust itself, but to do relationships still, to merge, to be in committed, situations, to go deeper into the astral realms, to go deeper into whatever it is you're doing that brings you a closer merger to something bright. Even North Node Leo, like what does your heart really feel like it's in alignment with and in a relationship with that like lights you up? North Node Regulus, something that makes you feel like a queen, that makes you feel regal. Double Aries, you're here to definitely be a powerhouse for yourself, but how can you create some sense of security, mainly within the relationship to yourself, feeling like you do have the power to do things alone if you need to, and not be too disconnected from that or feel like it outcasts you, but to really find out how to relate that to people. Like I think that's one of the gifts of a South Node in Aquarius, is it can relate to people really well. And maybe in a self-empowerment sense. It can also be a little isolated. So it's going back to like really seeing how bright of a star you are. Your Mars North Node conjunct on Regulus. Like you're here to be a star, but you really have to just know your worth, know your value, and just come out with it. And that might be the hard thing, is with a Chiron in the third in Taurus, it's actually like speaking and putting it out there in this way that, you know, is captivating. Because you could be too hard on yourself in the way that you're sounding, or the way that maybe it's not coming off, you know, as beautiful as you would like. So I think anytime that you can disconnect from the way that you think people are hearing it, because it can get to your own head and the way that it comes out, you're going to come out with so much strength, so much courage, and so much light that, you know, it's amazing. And also when you do come out with all that light, it can, you know, be polarizing at the same time and blind people. And you know what? I think that that's part of what you're here to do too, is like to be bright, to blind people, to say it, to be, you know, a speaker of like the deeper truths of this realm, of this reality. You also have Venus in the fourth house in Gemini. Like when you come out and express yourself and your feelings and are able to deliver the message, and you have Venus on Aldebaran, Archangel Michael, like that truth from deep within you is, it's such a catalyst. And not only that, but when you do speak your truth, you're going to feel more confident, more comfortable, more at home in your own body. Because maybe that's the thing too, is having an Aquarius rising, South Node Aquarius, and all that eighth house, is you can feel a little disconnected from the body. Like you're so connected maybe to your soul, or maybe to the other energies of the world, but it's like the physical part could be something that you're learning to get more in tune with in this life. So, and I know that, you know, I know you've had some health issues recently, and, you know, I do hope that that's getting better. I do. Thank you so much.
I made you a shot.
Oh my gosh.
With?
How? We don't even have milk. How'd you do that?
I'm a magician in the kitchen.
Hi, Haley. Nice to see you. So yeah, I was just talking about, you know, the third house for her, the second house, her first house. A lot about that seventh, because she's got North Node Regulus, Mars Regulus, Jupiter Regulus. So like, Angie's here to be a star.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To be like a polarizing light. And I think it's meant to be communicated with her sun and Chiron in the third, but that can be a hard spot, is like the
29
expression.
Mercury Pisces.
Is like maybe doubting the expression or the value behind her truth. But I think as long as she knows it, she's good. And you've had a ton of Pluto squares, Saturn squares to your moon and your sun. 5. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Pluto in Capricorn, when Saturn was there, I mean, Pluto transiting your 12th and Saturn in your 12th, Jupiter. 2020 was a wild ride. You know,
Pluto's
all of
in
that,
her 12th
all
now.
that happened in 2020 was like square your sun, which rules your 7th house. Squares your sun, which is the ruler of your North Node. So I think that there, you know, could have been a lot of situations or truth that came out, maybe in relationships, maybe in dealing with other people, or maybe,
Mars
you know, kind of
Regulus.
forced you also to put your message out to people. And you know what? It's so interesting to think about that transit, because that, I'm pretty sure you did start your channel in 2020, right around the time I did. So you had all these big Pluto Saturn squares to your sun, and it really did like get you out and putting the message out there, and, you know, I think doing the light work, right? And especially Leo, like just full expression of what your truth is in the third house with your sun. So I think that was a big catalyst moment for you, and something that I think is just getting started. You're also going to have Venus, which is going to retrograde on your North Node and your Mars, and in your 7th house, and it's going to just retrograde all in your 7th house.
Yeah.
So like, I think this Venus retrograde is also coming through to like put the finishing touches and like beautify everything that you started, or everything that you are relating to, or maybe even your relationships, and to make sure that they're built around like love, and that they're you're being seen as like royalty in the relationship. Because I think that's another thing too. If you're just putting yourself as like the common, person and identifying with that, I don't, be honest, you kind of gotta.
What is she? April 80? She's North Node. What? Where's her North Node?
Her North Node's Leo.
Oh, Leo. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, North Node Regulus. I feel like we had somebody last week that had North Node. I think Path Traveler has North Node Regulus. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of relationship stuff with you. Even your Venus had Mars retrograde and station right there next to it at 8 degrees. So you had Mars on your Venus for a very long time, which is it's your ninth house ruler, Vertex Neptune. That Vertex is just for the time of day that I pulled up.
Oh, okay.
The transit.
Okay, yeah, because that's a transit.
Yeah, so not super important.
Right.
But her Vertex,
The
Virgo,
galactic.
is going to have Saturn opposing it.
Yeah.
So, and she's had Saturn on her North Node, so that's been kind of like dropping maybe some sense of ego that maybe was overly connected to something that didn't really matter. You also have Merlin South Node.
Remember.
So Merlin South Node. You
Yeah,
got that Merlin in you. I was
magician
talking
in the
about
past life.
your 8th house Pluto. Like, you definitely. Like,
Yeah.
You got like some like Merlin deep in there. But that Merlin's not going to do anything if you don't show it off. If you don't show off all that wisdom that you got. Oh, great.
Mm-hmm.
And your moon rules your 6th.
It looks like you're still talking in there.
Yeah, it's trying its best. It might disconnect.
Yeah, because last time it didn't do it for the last time it did delay, but then it came back the first time. Well, it looks like it's trying to go back and forth. I need to get a water. Or can I have that one? I'll get you one if you need it.
So.
Okay, it's back on. Yeah.
Yeah, and you just had Chiron on your
You guys
Mercury.
can
So you
hear
had
us.
Chiron on your moon. You had those big squares from Pluto in like 2014, 2013. Pluto was square your moon. And that's your 6th house ruler. And even the 2nd house can deal with your like physical body also. Maybe that was when things started, happening health-wise for you. Maybe they happened before that. But that could have been a big moment for you health-wise if you haven't, uncovered that, code yet. But I think it's trying to get you, again, like there's certain maybe things that you've built emotional, attachment to in terms of what you do day to day. And it's like time to change those things. Time to find new comforts and new routines. Anytime you can be adaptable and find empowerment in that, you're doing it. Even a moon in the 2nd can get, very kind of stuck in its ways. This is comfortable. This is secure. I like the way this feels. This is it. No, kind of got to mix it up. And, and even you have Saturn in Virgo. It's one of your lessons is to like be adaptable. Continuously like mix things up.
Did Pluto just go into her 12th?
No.
Oh, okay.
Pluto's been in her 12th for since like 2013.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that was
2014.
Let me know what that was like, because
I don't think she's with us right now.
I know, but maybe when she watches this, she can. What was Pluto in your 12th like?
Yeah, it's still
Angie?
there for another 6 years.
Yeah,
And that's a big one too. Pluto crossing the rising, which you have coming up in 6 years, it's going to change you. You're going to get a change of identity. Could be a change in your body. So I think this is an important time to really like go through the emotional healing, to go through the expression, to be able to keep putting your truth out there. I think for you especially, like anytime you're hiding your truth, you're like hurting yourself. You're here to show it off. That's really like North Node Leo. Like show off show off everything you got. North Node Mars is considered to be like the winner's, aspect, especially with Regulus. Trump is somebody who has Mars Regulus. It's somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's an energy
Oh
that
my gosh,
usually
my
can.
mom's
Oh yeah,
ex-husband. Yeah.
And he's
Oh my gosh.
he
Yeah,
gets
but
it.
Regulus energy, if it's not used in the
Yeah,
correct way, it's
it can be
toxic
toxic,
masculinity.
absolutely. But I don't think that's the case for
No,
Angie.
no, I'm
But
just
I
right.
think for her, it's like, gosh, just go shine your light. Just don't stop. Keep putting the message out there. There's so much depth that needs to come out, and there's so much value in what you have to say. So you got to just be that like powerful, priestess and deliver it, And you even have Neptune that's coming up on your Mercury as well.
Bye, frequency of love. Thank you for sharing your chart.
Thank you.
Ella. Good night.
You have Neptune that's going to be with your Mercury, so, this can be a little in the clouds or, kind of disconnect you maybe from things. You also have Mercury just in Pisces natally, so at 29 degrees. Pluto's making really nice sextiles to that for the next year. Really the next, year and a half. So I think that your mind is getting this big upgrade in consciousness over the next year and a half that's going to try its hardest here to like have you embrace all that deep truth and that deep wisdom that you have and to just put it out there, to feel so grounded in what you know, because I think that's where your gifts are. That's where you have been such a healer in the past, probably with all the Virgo you have and Saturn and karma and the 8th house. Like you probably been such a healer in the past, but maybe you just didn't put it out there enough.
Yeah.
So now it's like, how do you do it more? How do you really go about that? And even your Venus at 10 degrees, you're about to have your Venus return. Venus is the ruler of your 9th. I think you need to like go bigger with the message. Mars was just on that. Time to really express and do. And maybe there's, maybe it's all been about like the inner work. When Mars retrograded over your Venus also rules your 4th. So maybe it's just been like really getting the foundation shored up so that you feel like comfortable with the movement
She's got
forward.
Venus on Aldebaran.
I know, I said that. Yeah.
Oh, you did?
You were
making
me
your
shy, but yeah. She got a lot of fixed star aspects.
Yeah. I know. We're gonna have to do a fixed star.
She's got
thing
both.
one day.
Both are benefics, Jupiter and Venus on Aldebaran and Regulus.
Yeah.
Which I think that's like, these are two royal, fixed stars. They're a big deal.
You need to embrace that energy.
Embrace your deep integrity that your soul knows and express that. And any kind of relationship, I think that's very important that you can express these things, have these talks. Uranus is going to start squaring your nodes next year. So that's a big moment in time for you too, where I think like could be the liberating, like just blow, like boom, especially within your 3rd house. Like if you have been holding back, like I don't think you're going to hold back anymore.
No.
Like it's coming out. So it's coming out whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to come out by you really embracing your uniqueness, your individuality, the wizard or the, wizardess or whatever you want to say, like inside of you and making things up. What's the the women version of a wizard? Is it a witch?
Oh, I was like Cersei. Yeah, it would be like Persephone, Lilith. Definitely Lilith energy. Oh, it's like going in and out. It's going crazy.
I think we should call it after this one.
Yeah, we're gonna have to add Brass Knuckles and Nancy onto the week.
Oh yeah, it just dropped all the way to 0.
The week of but you were on Angie's chart for a while.
Yeah. Also, the eclipse is going to happen in your 3rd, Angie, so yeah, you're just in a huge, like, your mind's shifting. Your mind's getting ready to, like, it's going to pop. You can't hold all of what you have in. It's definitely, like, go time for your expression. And this is going to bring, more relations into your life and, help you take center stage more. But I think you're going to have to shift things up and make, tweaks at the same time. I don't think it's going to be this, like, you can't do it the same way that you've been doing it. So I think you got to find, like, what unique shift over the next, even now, but in coming over the next few years, that really lets you go all out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Be like Seabiscuit, just getting out of that gate. Mm-hmm. Boom. Seabiscuit energy. Yeah, that motherfucker just went busted out of that comfort zone.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that, man?
I never saw it. I can't relate.
Well, he's well known.
But I understand the horse.
Or California, what was that guy's name? Chrome or something like that. Chrome. Yeah. He busted out of the gate too.
Is there anything you want to say?
222 views. We're in alignment. That's a sign. It's a sign, Angie. 222. Balance. Break out of that. Whatever it is. Just go. Yeah. Seabiscuit. I never saw Seabiscuit.
She has Uranus square her nodes anyway.
Oh my gosh, look at 2-2 and 2-2-2. Okay, we are fucking in alignment. So it's because I got my shaman.
That's why this is such a big time. Is because she's in her Uranus opposition coming to the end of this year.
I like that.
And Uranus is going to square her nodes, and she has Uranus square her nodes. That's her chart ruler. Yeah, there's so much.
That's a Seabiscuit moment.
In your Uranus opposite. You're not here to be like everybody else, but you're going to shine when you embrace 11. That, everything that makes you different is what makes you special. And I feel like those are the things that you trip yourself up on mentally, and this is like when you're just going to realize that those are just your strongest gifts. And you have to identify with those gifts.
2-2-3-3-1-1-1-1.
Because when you do, you'll touch the hearts of so many people, and it'll blow your mind.
Yeah, and
it'll create more for you, which I think is part of it too.
Gaia. Yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah, she's got your mom's birthday, Carol. So happy birthday. Yeah, because that's on Friday. Mm-hmm. Happy solar return. Thank you for sharing your chart.
Yeah.
Angie.
Well, I'm sorry. I think we're only going to do 4 because these drop frames are killing me.
So
I'm going to try a couple tweaks that I think might help, but also we'll get the router situated too.
Yeah. I mean, we called them to... Cox.
Well, because I want to do more lives too with like sun signs and different things here and there, and like, gosh, it's such a bummer that we can't just go live. So I want to fix it really bad. And that we fucking pay
like $200 a month for internet.
Pay way too much, so it's like this is
fastest
annoying.
Speed.
So I'm gonna do a couple updates and
so we'll add on. It'll be next session, I guess. I guess that's appropriate to say. Yeah, next reading group then will be brass knuckles and velvet gloves.
It'll be Tuesday or Monday the 17th?
No, we're leaving on Monday the 17th, so it'll be the 18th.
Wait, right, Tuesday the 18th.
Right. So the next group of readings will be Tuesday the 18th, and it'll be brass knuckles with velvet gloves. I like that. Like, I can't wait to know what your real name is, but I do love your the name that is on YouTube. Nancy. So brass knuckles, Nancy. Then it will be Amanda and Regan with the synastry chart with her partner, and let me see, I've got it right here. Alana, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Rebecca. So Alana, Regan, and the synastry, Rebecca, Nancy, brass knuckles, and Amanda for Tuesday the 18th. And what any famous last words? before we go on this this road trip?
No, nothing crazy. Just I hope everybody enjoys their week, and I hope that if we read your chart, you enjoyed it. And if we didn't get to the 2 we were going to today, I'm so sorry, and I apologize, and I hope you can be patient with us.
Divine timing.
The drops in the stream are just like, they kind of kill the flow of the whole thing for us too. Like when I'm like going and all of a sudden it flashes red, like I was like, so it kind of changes things. So
yeah,
we need to get that
just gonna it keeps pausing and interrupting, and it's just right. No, it does interrupt the flow for sure. Yeah.
Oh, Brass Knuckles is Path Traveler's friend.
Oh. What Path Traveler? What is her name?
Brass Knuckles. That's all they have to go by.
Leslie, you're on the list, but
I'm on the next video for the 18th. I'll put everybody in order that we have, and I'll I'll show the cutoff for that show and the cutoff for the next show, and we'll let everybody see.
Because we have Leslie. At the beginning of this video, I addressed everybody that was on the list and in order how it's gonna go. So there was, I think, 13 people total. Now 13, 14. Now there's 15 because we're doing the 2 from tonight. So there's 15 total. And everybody will absolutely get, that has donated and given us their information. I've got you all. I'm going to make a revised list, but it's all in alignment.
Yeah. Well, happy Easter.
Yes,
everybody.
Happy Easter.
And I hope you had a great weekend. Hope you have a great week. We'll miss you guys this week. I'll still be doing horoscopes, of course, but we won't do this show live. So.
Yes, but we'll be back on the 18th.
Yes.
It's only a week. It'll go by fast.
Yes.
It'll go by fast. So.
Time just.
Stop drinking the espresso. Oh my gosh.
Too late.
Caffeine and sugar. But I can see you've already perked up a bit.
A little bit. Angie's chart got me kind of excited when I got into it, I'll be honest.
Yeah, no, Leslie, it's at the beginning, but I got you down and I have all your information. And thank you for the donation. Yeah. Thank you.
Much love, everybody. Take care.
Yes, we'll see you on the 18th. Mwah. Have a great week.
Bye-bye.
Much love, guys.